Good morning, everyone. How are we on this Friday morning? Running a bit late this morning. I do apologise. So here we are, Friday's webinar. I'd like to thank everyone who's joining me on the PowerPoint presentation. And for those who have been unable to make it this morning, you'll receive that in your email box if you registered. Hello to everybody on Facebook. Nice to have you here. So, good morning. My name is Jodie Siemens. I'm from Taking Perspective, and some of you may or may not know, but I'm a lifestyle accountability and mindset coach. I help busy professional women stop running flat out in circles, but obviously not limited to. I also work with men. I help them just gain some professional and work-life balance. So helping them get rid of habits and create new habits that serve them, and just helping people generally get organised. I hold these 15 to 20-minute webinars. Sometimes they go longer on a Friday morning at 9 a.m. usually. I am sorry for being late this morning. Topics always vary, and today, if you're on the PowerPoint, you will see we are chatting about mindset and the new year. Let's take it by the horns. I'd just like to take a moment at this point to mention my goal setting workshop that I am running on the 15th of January, 2022. It is not far away. So this 2-hour workshop on Saturday, the 15th of January, starts at 10 a.m. What we'll be doing is working through your SMART goals, the SMART goals technique, and we'll be going through that process. We'll be setting up some goals for 2022 and helping you create your compelling future. We go through the ideas of creating a growth mindset around that, so you can move forward through 2022. And we also do a small hypno session at the end just to help reinforce that growth mindset and working towards your compelling future. So that will involve a moment for you to instill the goals that you're setting for the year. Okay, so let's get started on the webinar. So here we are. So this week's webinar is Mindset and the New Year. Let's take it by the horns. So what we've got here is the topics that we're going to discuss is the difference between resolutions and mindsets. We often create New Year's resolutions, so we'll go through that. Why mindset matters, cultivating a growth mindset, and growth mindsets and the new year, and just a little hot tip at the end. So that's what we'll be discussing today. So we'll start off with the difference between resolutions and mindsets. So firstly, a resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something, basically. A mindset is an established set of attitudes. So I'm hoping those of you that are listening, you can understand the differences between those. So a resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something, but the mindset is an established set of attitudes around that. So resolve itself is a very powerful word to create a resolve. It's bold, it's courageous, and it comes with intention. So resolving to do something or not to do something is actually a very powerful decision. So we don't want to rule it out. But what happens when you hit a roadblock on that powerful decision? Okay, so what happens if you really aren't aligned with the resolution that you've made? What happens when you realize that the resolution you've made may not be something that you actually really want to do? So this is not about making a resolution. This is about making your mind up to live a certain way. And I've got here on the PowerPoint, as little as 8% of people keep their resolutions. And that's based on purely because they don't have the attitude around the resolution. So just as an example, couple of examples here on resolution: save money, spend less. Okay. Mindset on that would be my financial health fuels my dreams. Another one is live a healthier life. Mindset, I am conscious of the impact of my decisions I have on my health. So from those two examples, you can clearly see the differences in what making a resolution is and having the mindset around that resolution. Okay, so why mindset actually matters. Okay, so the key to successfully achieving your goals lies in the way you approach that goal, not in the resolve to get it done. Okay, so it's about your approach. That's what I mean by mindset. How are you approaching your life? How do you approach your goals? How do you approach the situations, the adversities that you face? How do you face your wins, your losses, your achievements? Your failures, your relationships, your work, your body, the list can go on. It's about how you approach those things in your life. So it's about having a positive outlook, okay? So being excited about what might happen if you try, opening up the idea of learning versus failure, okay? So learning versus failure is more about learning from the failure and moving forward. It's about resilience and how to build upon that failure and be able to reflect upon it and still move forward. Okay. And the next slide is cultivating a growth mindset. Okay, so you need to be able to deal with discomfort, and this is where resilience does come in. You need to recognize your discomfort. You need to remember that at some stage everybody has felt this. You're not alone. Everyone feels some sort of adversity, some sort of trauma has happened, and stuff happens to good people every day, and it's about remembering that. And it's not about you know, putting down what you may or may not be going through at that time, because everyone's experiences are different, but just remembering that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail when we're hit with some sort of trauma in our lives. It's about standing up on our 2 feet and not lying down. So it really is about building your own resilience. And a lot of the time, discomfort comes from pushing through the boundaries of your own comfort zone. Okay. So we've also got put improvement before performance. So this is basically about working on your weaknesses instead of playing to your strengths all the time. And tracking your process on this really does help. So being able to do a weekly reflection on your performance and being able to document that and see, you know, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and really work on improving those weaknesses. Make adjustments. So this is also helps with the reflection. So, you know, a lot of the time we talk about flexible thinking patterns, which means you can look at a problem in different ways. So you take yourself out of the equation and you change your perspective. You see the forest through the trees. It's really important that you're able to do that. Being able to take yourself out of adversity and really sit back and look at the big picture. Okay. So we've also got positive self-talk. Language makes a difference. How we talk to ourselves makes a massive difference on cultivating a growth mindset. You need to reframe the negative language that you may be feeling and saying to yourself. So for example, I'm not good enough. Let's reframe that to I'm trying the best I can with the resources I have. Okay, so I'll repeat that. So a negative self-talk would be, I am not good enough. Positive self-talk, reframing, I am trying the best I can with the resources I have. Okay. So here we have a quote by Michael Jordan. It's actually a really good one. I accept failure Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. Okay, so this is something that people need to understand, that everybody does fail at some stage, and it's about learning from those failures. So working towards cultivating a growth mindset can really transform you on a personal and professional level. It's not always easy, but it's the right mindset that can help you move through your imagined, and I say that out loud, imagined limitations, your imagined negative language that you keep saying to yourself, things like, I am not good enough. So like Jordan has said, you must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. And that is a growth mindset. Okay, so on to growth mindset and the new year. So success is directly linked with our mindset. It's not the results of the innate talents and abilities that you have. It's rather about how you think about your talents and abilities, okay? A growth mindset is a way of thinking, thinking that you're able to increase, your level of kindness, compassion towards yourself, and you continuously learn and create that growing mind. Research has shown over the years, and still continues to do, that the human brains have the capacity to continue learning, and they learn over time throughout our whole lives. And this is based on the idea of brain plasticity or neuroplasticity. Our brain has the ability to grow, adapt and change as we learn. And it doesn't matter about your age or your experiences in life. It's really about just being able to grow, okay? And this is where the shift from a growth mindset to a fixed mindset happens. It's in this growth that you're able to move past all your fixed mindset decisions and move into a more growth mindset. Because we have the we have the ability to influence our brain and to expand and change, rather to remain the same. And I think it's important that people have the understanding that we all have the ability to make changes. So here I have a tip, okay? Our happiness ultimately depends more on how we face life than what happens in it. In adversity, we grow the most. So ultimately our happiness will depend on how you actually approach it. We can adopt a growth mindset and understand that each and every situation that we are put through in life has a lesson. And especially if we're faced with the adversity, that's when we do grow the most. And in those situations, we're forced to reconsider our beliefs, our ideas, our goals, our priorities, and ultimately our meaning of the world. And when we grow, we tend to replace them with new ones because the old ones no longer become valid. So as much as a child can, stop growing up, we can't stop them from learning as they live. Okay, we can resist the change as much as we want to, but then we make everything more difficult. We take situations more personally. This is something that we really need to think about. And maybe it is the secret of evolution, taking challenges as learning instead of as adversity, and really adopting a new way of thinking. So the next thing here is I'm going to ask you all a question. What do you want to do? Okay, so this is about setting goals for the new year. So let's start with identifying what it is that you actually want to do, not what you should do, not what others think you should do, not what you want to do, as in because you feel that you have to do. A lot of the time we do things to please other people. So I want you to really think about what it is that you want, not what others expect from you, okay? So is it that you want more money, more responsibility, to have more fun, more time on your hands, more time with family, more love in your life? more acceptance for what you do want. Because sometimes what we want doesn't align with what the people around us want. And you will get, to a degree, some kickback from it. But it's about really, this is where your resolve comes in, and this is where your mindset comes in, your attitude towards your resolve and those around you kicking back because they see you changing. And some people are afraid of change, and it's about you stepping through that. So to be honest, I really want you to keep it real. Write it down. Don't judge yourself. No one needs to see it. No one needs to know yet. You know, I'm a firm believer of talking about what you've done when you've done it, not in the process. So just get real with yourself, get real with your emotions, get real with your life, and really think about what it is that you want to do, not what others expect or want you to do. Okay, so here we have the summary. This is not about making a resolution. This is about making your mind up to live a certain way. While resolutions are short-term focused, your desires, wants are your anchors to long-term change. Okay, this is really important. Okay, so you can go through back to the mindset of making sure that you deal with the discomfort, and you understand that there's a level of resilience that you need to create within yourself. You put your improvement before your performance, so really work on your weaknesses to lift you up and give you strength. Make adjustments when you need to. Reflect all the time. We need to reflect. People don't do it enough. And really go about changing your perspective. See the forest through the trees. Change your self-talk. Make sure you are talking to yourself nicely. Make sure you love yourself. Make sure you're being kind to yourself. Make sure you're being compassionate to yourself and your own needs. Okay, as Michael Jordan said, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I cannot accept not trying. You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. And I think that's really important. You know, the shift into a growth mindset from a fixed mindset is one of great importance. We are always learning, and everyone can do it because our brain has the ability to make the change and expand rather than change the same. Everybody has the chance to change and grow. So again, back to the goals, be honest, keep it real, write down what you want to do. Do not judge yourself, okay? Make sure it's about you and not about what's expected of you. And here we are at the end of the webinar. So as you can see, you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And I do also have a new media outlet coming to you shortly. I will be launching that in the first week of January, which is really exciting. I'm just going to take a moment to thank everyone for joining me on the webinar. Those who watched the PowerPoint, those who registered and missed, you will receive the webinar via email. Thank you to everyone on Facebook that has been watching. This is the end of the Mindset and the New Year. Let's Take It by the Horns webinar. Next week, we will be working on how to deal with anger. That has been a request. So again, that one will work a lot on mindset. And being able to work through resilience. So we'll talk about that next week. I'd just like to take the chance to again mention my goal setting workshop that will be running the 15th of January at 10 a.m. It's a 2-hour workshop. We will be working through the SMART goals technique. We'll be setting goals for 2022 and helping you create the compelling future that you desire. We've all been hit with some setbacks in the last few years. So let's really take 2022 by the horns and start moving forward. We go through a process of helping create that growth mindset so that you can keep moving into 2022. We do a small hypno session at the end, just to help reinforce that growth mindset and whatever goals you want to work towards to create your own compelling future. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, I do webinars on Fridays live at 9 a.m. in my Professional Women's Collective group. Facebook just gets the live. Hello everyone in Facebook land. So until next week, I will see you again at 9 a.m. on how to deal with anger, resilience, and changing that mindset around that. So I am over and out now. Thanks, guys.